So one of the old axioms, this is in baseball and hockey, but it's like if you look at your schedule, there are X number of games you're just going to win, and there's X number of games you're going to lose, and it's what you do in the middle between that really kind of determines things. Would you say that last night's game is one of those ones that kind of falls into like you're just going to win an X number of games? Like you're kind of owed that after by the hockey gods or something.
Oh, I see what you mean. So the
Yeah.
games that we should have won that we didn't win.
Correct. Yes. Like you went through a number where you should have won games that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It almost feels like last night was one of those other ones.
So watching the game back, wasn't happy with the first period.
Right.
Wasn't happy with the second period. I like the third period. And that's the beauty of video. Watching the first period, execution wasn't great. Made a bad mistake on the goal against. 2 of them. But other than that, it was better than watching the game live.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of good things that you don't see from behind the
Yeah.
bench, your ice level. You see on the surface, but when you watch a video, you see, so action by action, there's a lot of good things, a lot of good tracks, a lot of, good forecheck. We sustained some ozone time. So it was a little bit better than my first impression. Second period, not good.
Okay.
And I think that's the one that makes us feel the first part of the game, the first 2 periods weren't good enough. And then in the third period, we were a better team than the first 2 periods. Having said that, style of plays will influence the way the game is going to be played. The Flyers are playing a style of play that will make it feel that way.
Right.
That it's not much room. It's one of the best team, if not the best. I have to go back to the stats, but one of the best team in the league at defending the neutral zone.
Okay.
With their tracking and they win a lot of races to lose pucks.
Okay.
It's a team that's built around man, and they're they're fast, but not extremely fast. They're not slow. They just play well and tight in the neutral zone. Hard-working team and physical team on the forecheck. So it feels that way, and I understand that. And I got caught into the emotion of like the first 2 periods. But I think we did a real good job in the third. Daniel was really good. Tarasov, like really good. And you need that sometimes. But was it one of those games where we didn't earn the win? I'd say the first period, it's 1-0 for them. We've made one major mistake. The puck management wasn't great. The execution wasn't great. But on both sides, second period, they were the better team. Third period, we were the better team. So I felt it's up for grab in that game. And then coming back from 0-2, and so that's a big boost for us. That was a gutsy win. And having said that, Daniel was outstanding for us. So we needed different components.
You kind of went to where I was going to go with my next question early with the Flyers. How much, I mean, we talk about learning all the time, obviously, but to play a team that is as disciplined as that, and to be able to have success ultimately against that, just to have your young guys especially face that kind of discipline. And, I mean, how much can they learn in a game, just even one game?
Yeah, no, and learning, yes, you learn, but even more so when you finish on the right side. Because they're even in their defensive zone, we play a very, very similar system. Same thing with Boston and Vegas. They're just at a different stage in their growth. But they block a lot of shots. You're not able to sustain a lot of ozone time. So it's long rims, it's long passes, trying to create some offense out of it. But once you have the offense, there's no. We were able to sustain some ozone time yesterday, but it's nothing concrete. It goes down to, against teams like that, a one-on-one battle. It's either you win it or I win it. And if you win it, I have to track back. I have to back check. And if I win it, we can stay in the offensive zone. So, it's a good learning curve, even more so not giving up and keep pushing, even though after the second period we weren't happy, but finding a way. And that was what I liked about our team yesterday. We found a way to stay in the game and to finish on the right side.
How happy are you for Boone Jenner, the first All-Star nomination? He totally, I would think he deserves it, obviously.
So happy. Like, he was totally surprised. Yarmo told him, and spoke again to him this morning, and it's he's from this area too. The game will be played in Toronto. If there's a guy that deserves to experience this, it's Boone Jenner, to live with this and work with this guy every day. I don't know if there's any words that can express my happiness for him. It's so well deserved.
Yeah. And on that topic, you've had to play without him. And obviously one of those big areas we've talked about where he's missed is, among the many, his face-offs. Feels like Fantilli especially and Sillinger have really picked it up in that department. Have you noticed that the last, it was like 2 weeks or so? It's almost like they're getting that opportunity and they're capitalizing. Yeah,
so we work with a guy, his name is Jason Krog, and he works for us. And he's a consultant for our team, and he's outstanding. And his main thing is right now is he can do a lot of stuff, a real smart hockey mind. But his main thing is to follow up with all of our centers after every game and going over their face-offs and everything that includes being a center. So I see already in 2 weeks a change, because Jason was added to as a consultant recently. And he's going to come here once in a while. He's going to meet us on the road once in a while. He's not a full-time, but it's I feel very, very lucky that we were able to add him, and we can see the difference. So yes, Sillinger, Fantilli, but he's going to, he speaks to Corrali as well, all of them. So yes, I see a difference.
It's obviously the hardest league in the world in every facet, but like especially that one, I would think, is especially when you're a young guy coming in and the guy knows the linesman, like we've talked about before, and all that. It's just, I mean, you're facing men as well who've done this for 3, 4, 5, 6, even longer. But is it a thing that you have to have patience? Obviously, you have to have patience with these guys, but like, how quickly can they learn?
Well, it depends on each player. Part of it is strength. There's so many things that we don't think about, and that's not my specialty. Like those special skills, my specialty is running a hockey team, but those special skills, the read, the positioning of the skates, the referee being a right-handed or left-handed, the other players on the ice, where they are. There's so many reads that goes into it. When I speak to Jason, there's a lot of there's way more reads than you would think. So yes, it comes with experience, but Silly is a stronger man. Like in general, he's a strong man. So is Fantilli. He's fairly strong for his age. He's gonna get stronger and stronger. But I remember young guys like Sidney Crosby back in the days. That was a challenge for him.
Sure.
And now he's really good. So it's a skill. It's a legitimate skill, just like shooting the puck and skating and passing the puck. It's a skill that can be improved, and it takes time.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, and this goes back to maybe the thing about the Flyers, because that's a division opponent.
Yeah.
Against all the other divisions, you guys are about 500. And then against the Metro, it's tough. It's like 3 wins right now. There's a lot of that because the Metro is filled with teams like you're talking about that have like a lot of discipline, a lot of veteran players who stick to their system.
Well, that's part of it. That's why we have a really hard division ourselves. So we're playing against real good teams. Well, they're all good. Don't get me wrong, but it's part of it.
Yeah. And obviously, it probably goes without saying, it's got to, for you guys to ultimately do what you want, you got to learn how to beat those teams, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's, but that's the end result. The process is we're in all of those games, so we're making steps, we're growing, we're building that kind of confidence. Now, the learning part, and that takes some time, it's how to finish those games. And growth is funny in a way that you have to be patient, and it can take time. It can take a lot of time. But once it happens, once you've learned from all those
Right.
events, positive or negative, it happens almost overnight. It just, you grow, and at one point you're at your maximum height, if I can explain
Yeah.
it that way, and then it's there.
Yeah.
And then you move forward. So we're in the stage where we're growing, we're understanding, but the positive side is we're in those games. We compete against those guys. We're in a position to win. We didn't finish enough, but we were in those games. So-
How are we health-wise coming out of last night's game? Pretty, like, about the same as you went going into it, or?
Yeah.
Was there anything new,
No,
or-
no. The Boquist is good to go now, so
Okay.
that's a
Good thing.
good thing for us.